Tonight's bedtime story is called Little Miss Trouble and the Mermaid, read by the same artists. The trouble with Miss Trouble is that she is always causing trouble, like when she met Mr. Greedy. Do you know that they are giving away ice cream around the corner? She asked him. Really? Cried Mr. Greedy, and raced off to get some. But what he did not know, and Miss Trouble did, was the workmen had dug up the pavement around the corner. Mr. Greedy fell right down in the hole. Bang! Miss Trouble thought that this was very funny. Mr. Greedy didn't. Now, the trouble with making trouble is that sometimes it can catch up with you. And that is what happened when Miss Trouble went to Seatown last week. Her first 2 days in Seatown was great fun. Great fun for her, but no fun for anybody else. She splashed Miss Splendid and blamed on Miss Chatterbox, who Miss Splendid sprayed with cold seawater. Miss Trouble kicked sand all over Mr. Strong and then blamed on Mr. Sneeze, who Mr. Strong buried in sand up to his nose. Miss Trouble was having the time of her life. She had never caught so much trouble. On her 3rd day in Seatown, she decided to go fishing with Mr. Muddle and Little Miss Bossy. The 3 of them rowed out to sea and set up their fishing rods. Miss Trouble was trying to think of the best way to cause trouble when she felt something tug on her fishing line. I've caught a fish, she cried excitedly. Then there was another tug, a much stronger tug, a tug so strong that it pulled her right out of the boat. Not only did it pull out of the boat, it pulled her down into the sea. Miss Trouble let go of the fishing line, but something or someone grabbed her foot and dragged her deeper and deeper. Oh my! It was not until she reached the bottom of the sea that she discovered who had caught her. It was a mermaid. There is someone who wishes to see you, said the mermaid, to a shocked Little Miss Trouble. Take me back, demanded Miss Trouble. Later, said the mermaid. Follow me. Miss Trouble realized that she had no choice in the matter, so she did as she was told. The mermaid took Miss Trouble's hand and led her across the seabed. After a short while, they came to a coral reef. Where are you taking me? Asked Miss Trouble. You're about to find out, replied the mermaid. In the middle of the reef was a circle of sand, and in the middle of the circle was a coral throne, and sitting there on the throne was the Mermaid Queen. I have brought Miss Trouble as you ordered, Your Highness, said the mermaid. So, you're the person who has been causing so much trouble on my beach and in my sea, said the Mermaid Queen angrily. It is time that you learned to behave yourself. No more splashing people and kicking sand around. But it wasn't me, exclaimed Miss Trouble. It was Miss Chatterbox and Mr. To Miss Trouble's huge surprise, the word sneeze, which she had meant to say, came out as a bubble. And every time she tried to say it, the same thing happened, until there was a stream of bubbles coming out of her mouth. It is no good on blaming other people and getting them into trouble, said the Mermaid Queen. From now on, every time you try to make trouble, all that you will get for your trouble is bubbles. You may go back to the beach now. The mermaid led Miss Trouble away. They swam to the edge of the coral reef, where a dolphin was waiting. This dolphin will take you back to Seatown. Do not forget what the Queen said, warned the mermaid, or else. Miss Trouble held on the dolphin's fin and rowed her back to the beach, where the dolphin left her at the shore. The beach was crowded, and as Miss Trouble watched the dolphin's fin as it swam away, an idea struck her. She shouted at the top of her voice, but instead of the word shark, which she had meant to shout to scare everyone, a huge bubble came out of her mouth, and then another. Everyone on the beach gave her a very odd look. Feeling very foolish, Miss Trouble went back to her hotel. The next morning, she felt much better. Down on the beach, she found Miss Sunshine sunbathing on a beach towel. Miss Trouble crept up behind her and dropped her ice cream on her. "What was that?" screamed Miss Sunshine, leaping up in surprise. "Who did that?" "It was," began Miss Trouble. She was about to say Mr. Rush, but I am sure you know what came out instead. That's right. An enormous bubble, and then more and more and more bubbles. And that was not all. "How could you?" cried Miss Sunshine, and she threw what was left of the ice cream at Miss Trouble. There was nothing Miss Trouble could say, because she could not speak. All she could do was blow bubbles. And so it went on. Every time Miss Trouble tried to cause trouble, the same thing happened. By the end of the week, Miss Trouble had given up trying to make trouble and had started building sand castles instead. In fact, she became so good at building sand castles that she won the sand castle competition. She was very excited until she discovered what the prize was. Guess what the prize was? A year's supply of bubble bath. Oh my. Time for our top 10.